Hi everyone, just coming on really because I have been really called to do a reading. I'm not sure who needs to hear it. I don't know who it's going to be for. It might just be for one individual, or it could just be a collective reading, or it might be relevant for lots of different energies in the air at the moment through September. So please take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. And hopefully there's something here for you if that's something you need to hear right now. So let's start by looking at the crystals I was drawn to bring down for the reading. The first one was Celestine, and this crystal is particularly good at connecting to the third eye and crown chakra. It's meant to bring in connections with angels, spirit guides, just your spirit team really, ancestors, and any beings that are there trying to support and help you, reassure you. So yeah, I was really drawn to bring that down for the reading. And the other crystal I chose was this gorgeous moonstone heart. I don't know if it will pick up, it has a slight flash on the heart. I don't know if it will pick it up on the camera. But again, I was really drawn to this this moonstone heart, and that's a lot to do with calming, and bringing in new beginnings, letting things go, and bringing in new starts and new opportunities to you. So yeah, both of those really drawn to. Really wanted to pull a charm, so I'm just going to literally give them a shake and close my eyes and choose one, and then we'll see what relevance that has within the reading. And so we've got the key with the angel wings and a heart. Okay, so I'm going to start with, these are the language of flower cards. And just, yeah, as I said, I'm not sure who the reading's for, so we'll just see what energies come out for whoever it is that needs to hear any messages or have any guidance. Okay, let's have a look. We have the camellia for peace. Be calm and calm will come. And we have nasturtium, and that's for grounding. So the beginning is where you need it to be. Well, that's quite interesting because we've gone for the moonstone, which is all to do with allowing new beginnings, letting them come in. And then I wanted to use the wisdom of the oracle cards. Again, I was just drawn to them for their energy for the reading. I can feel one in here. Something trying to lift. I'll just shuffle them again. Here we go. Just that one. And this one is the Imagine card. Beautiful. And next I was drawn to the Unknown Archetypes cards. So they're all based on the main archetypes. Oh, yeah, these ones want to come. Goodness me. Lots of messages here. Okay, so we have the venom, the medallion, the shadow, the gem, we have the king, and the dead end. Lovely. Okay, and these are, again, they're similar. They're by the same lady who made the archetype cards, and they're called the Wild Unknown Tarot. So they're based on the tarot cards. so here we have Temperance card. And we have Judgment. 2 birds that time. And finally, these are called Energy Oracle cards. Oh, they're very stiff today. Okay, let's see what we have there. We have 3 here. We have Deceit. Let's pop them over here, running out of space. We have the first chakra, that's our root chakra, and the Archangel Michael. Lots of red there coming out. And then we have Daughter Spirit. Shuffle those in. Okay, so let's go back now and just go through those cards with you. So let's have a look through the cards that have just come up. There does seem to be a bit of a theme, and I just pick up a sense of either expanding or beginning on that spiritual journey. So it's a lot of opening up to spirit, seeing the signs and symbols that might already be there, and allowing that to develop within you. Maybe you haven't quite stepped right through the door. We've got the Daughter Spirit here, so it might be that you've not actually gone through the door. You're just tentatively standing on the first step, thinking that this is something that you're feeling drawn to, but definitely being called to. And I think that particularly because we had the key here with the angel wings, and it's like the key to your heart, and it felt like it's spirit. You're being advised, guided towards spirit. So it may even be that you're seeing feathers or birds, hearts, keys, synchronicities, signs around you that are really sort of calling you towards something spiritual. Or it may be that you've naturally got some sort of gift that you aren't really utilising, but you are experiencing it. You may have always experienced it, and you're just discovering that this is part of a spiritual process, part of a journey. And so definitely there is an encouragement through the cards here for this person or these people that it's really to look at that and develop it, because I feel like there's a lot of peace to be had, inner peace, from exploring this part of yourself. And again, that came through in the crystals that came up for the reading, a real sense of connecting with spirit guides, connecting to your inner guide, your intuition, and also allowing those new beginnings to start, and that healing to begin. So let's look at the first cards we sort of drew. I'm not going to do them in a particular order, but the Imagine card here, I mean, it definitely makes me feel a sense of using visualization, using manifestation, really reaching for something. It might feel out of reach, it might feel unobtainable, but actually you are being advised to really imagine it. Imagine it coming into your life. How would it feel? What would change? What would improve? And then it's finding ways for you to put that into motion. Imagine how it will be. Make a plan, a strategy. What do you want to do? How do you want it to be? The water here at the bottom makes me think, it's going to flow. It will be something that as you start those tentative steps, that you will just be drawn and you'll sort of fall into that groove, and it will be free flowing. It will become easily to you. And there's nothing you can't reach for. That's what I'm getting the sense of. There's nothing too big that you could ask for. Nothing is insurmountable. And so, yeah, just imagine it, believe it, bring it into fruition. And this month, we do have one of our last supermoons. I believe it's our biggest supermoon this month, the moon is nearest to the earth. And so it's a really good time for manifesting big things into our life. So if there are big changes you want to make, or things you want to bring into yourself, now is the time to start putting them down on paper. Around the full moons is the perfect time, so which is middle of the month, I think around the 22nd, 23rd. I can't remember offhand, but I will double check. We've also got the autumn equinox, and the equinox is again about bringing in abundance. It's that time of all of our hard work coming in, and we're enjoying the fruits of our labour. So all the things we've harvested, all the seeds we planted and we nurtured, they've grown, and they're ripe for the picking. And so it's that time now to start putting it out there. What do we want? What do we want to see? And really imagine how you want your life to be. What would make you happy? What would make you feel fulfilled? And I feel really peaceful with the card. I think it is like there's a real aspect of peace and tranquility with it. I think that's going to bring a calmness to you if that's what you feel might be lacking. And that ties in with our Camellia card, which was the card for peace. Be calm, and calm will come. So it's us embodying the emotions we want to feel more of. And sometimes you have to really consciously put yourself into those emotions, even when they're not actually feeling like they're coming freely. It's finding a way of recreating them. So when do you feel calm? When do you feel you're most at peace? And then think back to those times. How can I create that now? What can I do more of? What do I need to lose in order to bring in that peace? And then the other flower card we had was the nasturtium for grounding. So this is all to do with bringing ourselves back to reality, being grounded in ourselves, know where you belong. There's a lot of, where am I rooted? You know, think about grounding, think about growing roots somewhere. Where am I most secure? Where do I feel secure mentally? Where do I feel secure emotionally and physically? So grounding in all areas. And as I'm sure you've heard me harp on about, the actual grounding outside nature, laying your hands, your feet on the earth and the soil, grass, stone, sand, in rivers, lakes, however you feel comfortable. You can put your hands on a tree, on plants, and you will get those grounding effects through the body. All those things, those grounding things, they actually produce these negative ions, and they help discharge our body from all the positive ions we're being charged with constantly, particularly if we're stressed, but through our food, through Wi-Fi, all those things around us, busy, noise, pollution, these things will actually start to discharge your body of those positive ions, help you relax, help you find that calming space. And it actually helps your body and your lymphatic system, your immune system, to help you heal. So really important. And if you feel yourself overwhelmed quite often, or being pulled in lots of different directions, bring yourself back to center and ground. One of the simplest ways is literally imagine yourself, do a visualization, sitting down with your feet flat on the floor and roots coming down into the earth. Ground them onto something, let them hook into something. Imagining the core of the earth is quite a good one, and those roots going all the way through the soil, all those layers, and then wrapping themselves around that crystal centre, that hard ball in the middle of our earth, and then drawing that energy into you. Just imagine it flowing. You don't have to do this for hours, you can sit for 5 minutes if you've got the time to do it. Just imagine that calming, grounding energy. So I find it really beneficial. Then we had the Judgment and Temperance cards. Both cards are to do a lot with balance. One more to do with balance in fairness, and the other in terms of balancing ourselves and our environments and our emotions. So the Judgment cards, immediately I just saw that dove of peace. Again, it was our peace that we had earlier, rising above it all. There might be things around you that you feel are heavy and dark and that drag you down. They literally make you feel low when you're around them, and it's trying to rise above it. Remove yourself from the situations if and when you can, and get that time for yourself to allow those heavy things to drop away. They aren't you. Sometimes we have to step into them, sometimes we have to deal with those things, but they aren't actually you. You are the vibration that you want to be. It's a choice that we make for where our vibration sits, something we have to work on. It's a conscious thing. But if you're allowing yourself constantly to be pulled down by this low vibration, this heaviness, then you will become that. Your frequency will drop as well. And so whatever the advice is here, it is to try and rise above what this is. It might be people, it might be your emotions, it might be others' emotions, it might be people at work, friends, family, where there's a lot of difficulties and you're finding yourself constantly being dragged into it and thinking, I need to rise above it. Stay in the light as much as you can. Take time out from it. If you want to be, and you need to be involved in helping people in these situations, take time out for yourself to be in the light. Bring light into yourself. Imagine yourself, you know, surrounded in positive energy, light, and yeah, doing the things that bring you some joy and comfort, so that you are staying in this light position. The Judgment card can also mean that there is going to be a physical judgment on something. So it might be you're waiting for an outcome or a decision, and it is a message from the universe that that decision will be a fair one, it will be balanced, and whatever the outcome is, it will be for the greater good of whoever is involved in that decision making process. The Judgment card can sometimes be legal papers, or more official documents, making sure that there's a balance and a fairness within them. With the other cards in the reading, I do get a sense of this balance, this inner balance that needs to be addressed. But yeah, it may also involve, for others, there may be documents that are needing to be signed. There might be a situation you're going through at the moment and it feels very unfair, feels unjust. And the Judgment card is always there as a reassurance that the universe has got your back. The universe is going to make sure that whatever the outcome is, it's not going to be pushed in anyone's favour. It will be wherever it needs to be. And sometimes that doesn't mean that you're going to get the same. It just means that whoever's needs need to be met in whichever way, that the universe will ensure they're met. So whatever they need will be given. And the Temperance card is often about trying to balance situations and emotions within our life. Here, the Heron is trying to balance water and fire, and is able to do so successfully without extinguishing the fire and without the fire becoming out of hand. And so I feel like there's something that needs to be addressed. There's something that needs to be kept in balance. And it might be a situation that feels a little temperamental with the flames and the fire, but know that whatever situation you're currently in, you will find that balance. You will find that the elements help you to keep everything flowing, keep everything balanced. You might be being asked to step into a bit of earth energy here with the fire, because that's what I'm seeing predominantly is this fire element. And that earthing energy is our grounding. Stay grounded, stay in your root. Our root chakra is often seen as a dark red, an earthy colour, like a browny red, a deep red. And so, yeah, definitely a reminder here that somebody needs to be grounding more, keeping themselves feeling secure, balanced, centred, and definitely in control. And allowing emotions to flow, but not to overtake this person. So that earthly logic and our emotions, our water side, that flowing, it's not allowing one to rule the other. It's never good to be too logical and rule out all of the feelings and emotions in something. But likewise, if you let your emotions get the better of you, then you're not potentially not able to communicate your best, because the emotions take over and that logical brain is lost. And so we don't always deal with something rationally. We deal with it, in the moment, and it might come out wrong. So again, balancing the emotions as well as our physical bodies and our spiritual side. We had the Deceit card. And the Deceit card is often, a literal deceit. But very often the Deceit card is about deceiving ourselves. So we might not be being completely honest with ourselves, potentially around money, because, this person here, the man behind the curtain, is sort of playing with money in a hidden box. It's secretive. It's, and it's falling through his fingers. So there might be a bit of a deceit about spending, or you're not quite looking at your finances in an open way, or that maybe somebody else is being deceitful around money, or around situations that include money. I'm really getting a sense, because of the red in the card again, this bright red is in the card yet again. It's strong through the reading, and that is that root energy again. Really secure down, ground regularly. And so that if there are these issues, if you are finding that you're kidding yourself, it's one phrase, or you're fooling yourself, or you're hiding something from yourself, you just won't look at it, you're really being advised it's time now to draw back that curtain on it and really look at it. Whatever, it could be just a deceit in your own emotions, not necessarily a physical one about money. It could be that you're turning away from something you need to face. So often, you know, that shadow work that we talk about, doing the hard work, the inner work, it can just be something that you think, every time I think about it, I find it really stressful. It makes me feel upset. I feel overwhelmed. Try and break it down into smaller pieces. Try and find other perspectives to look at it. Asking for help, you know, talking to someone you can trust, a friend, a colleague, a professional, if you would rather it was a third person, just so you can shine the light on it. Because I'm really drawn to this this candle down here. There's something that needs to be illuminated. So if it's been hiding in the shadows for too long, it's starting to come out. And I genuinely find that if there's something that you're trying to desperately look away from, the universe will keep bringing it back in different ways until it's dealt with. So I think it's time now. I think you're ready to start opening that curtain a little bit in whatever way you feel comfortable. However, you know, don't do things until you're ready to do them. But, you know, you've got the books here, the books of knowledge. It's time to open the front page and have a look. Just have a look, and then see how we progress from that point. How do you move forward? And if there are people around you where you're worrying about deceit, it really is an opportunity to be assertive and direct with good intent. You know, use your good intention and all of your knowledge and that grounded energy, that logic, that calm, but address it and have that conversation. And not to fear it, not to fear the things that we have to look at that are difficult, because actually that's where our growth comes from, is those difficulties. Our next card was the first chakra, which is our root again, and the Archangel Michael, who is associated with that root chakra. He also does cord cutting. He releases us from old traumas, old burdens, but particularly things that hold on to us or we hold on to that no longer serve us. So that's him there with his sword. So again, I'm drawn to the angel wings, which are on our key. And there's this sense of spirit with you. You're being guided, angels, spirits. It could be either, it could be both. It might be that you have a whole spiritual team who are there with you at the moment, who are sending you these signs, synchronicities and messages because they're trying to guide you, they're trying to assist you, particularly if you've got things at the moment that are a bit challenging. But again, another card to do with the root chakra and that balance. In this one, it's a real ruby red, so it might be relevant. Feels like a gem. It feels like that's going to be the gift to you, is if you can start grounding and then bringing the spiritual side in. It's that grounding from below and spirit from above, and you're finding that middle ground. You're keeping yourself centered so that you can receive messages, but you're also very much grounded in the earth. And then we have the door to spirit. Again, it's that the upper end of our chakras, our crown. And as I said earlier, I feel like you've sort of partially opened a door and you've just looked inside, and it's like something has hit you that, you know, like a big gust of wind has almost taken your breath away, because it feels so incredible. It feels so aligned with you. And there's a real sense of growth. If you see all around the door frame, there's all these flowers and vines growing. They're coming through that door. They're opening this new path for you. And again, we've got the dove of peace, which we had in your judgment card. So this, I feel, this doorway to spirit is what is leading you to feel most at peace. It's like a missing puzzle piece that's fallen into place, and you think, that's what I've been looking for. and it's allowing you to start experiencing things that you weren't able to shift or you weren't able to delve into. And so I really feel that there's a very strong message here to start tapping in to more of things spiritual at your own pace as they come in, but they are coming in, whether you want them to or not now. You know, you've looked at it and you've seen it and you've felt that emotion, and it's literally come into you. And I think there's a lot more to come, because you haven't quite yet stepped through the door. Once you step through that, into that realm, into that magic, then I feel that you will be even more enlightened and even more fulfilled, and you'll find a lot of answers that you're looking for. Because here we've got all of this cloud swirling, and it's sort of, that's what's been stopping you seeing clearly, and then you've opened the door and it's allowed you to see the next step, see where you're headed. And then we move on to our unknown archetypes. And again, we've got the shadow work. The light and dark, we all have it. We all have things about ourselves we find a bit tricky, or that we try and stay away from, emotions that come up we don't want to deal with, things we push down and suppress because we think, oh, I can't say that, I can't be this person. And so there's definitely a sense of, this is part of us, you know, we all have it. It's something we all live with. It's part of a whole. We are a whole, and the good, the bad, the ugly. And inside all of that is our beauty, because it's the one thing that makes you unique. It's the one thing that makes you you. And so if there's areas of your life that you desperately want to push away, desperately hide from, or when they surface, you find it really difficult. You know, it might be literally that lump in the throat, which you think, I can't do that. I cannot deal with that yet. You're just firstly being reassured that you are ready. But secondly, is just to do it in small pieces, a bit at a time. You know, there's only tiny bits that we have to look at. And once we look at something, it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. The thought is always worse than the actual reality. And we don't have to get rid of these parts of us. It's just accepting them. It's just realizing, yeah, I know that about myself. I might find that really difficult. This situation upsets me. This situation frightens me. These people I find I get overwhelmed with. Once you accept it, and then you can find ways to have strategies to cope with them all. Some things you'll be able to work through and they won't exist anymore. And some things you'll think, that's just who I am. It's a default. I can't shift that. So I have to accept it and just know it in myself, and then make allowances when those things arise, or if I'm triggered. So yeah, it's not fearing it. It's called the shadow, but it's only dark and light. You can't have one without the other. Yin and yang, male, female. It's part of our balance. It's part of who we are. And it's allowing it to become balanced. You know, don't try and push it out the way and hide it or be ashamed of it. We all have emotions that, you know, they're not always seen as positive emotions, but they're there and we all need them. And actually, you don't truly feel gratitude for those good emotions unless you ever experience the tough times, the tough emotions. And so it is just integrating it, bringing it together and accepting that that is two sides of the same coin, two sides of you. And again, it's accepting those in others. You don't always have to stay with those people, but accepting that that is part of them, it's part of their journey. And yeah, what you do with that information is up to you, but it's just an acceptance of it helps you make your decisions, helps you know who you are, helps you understand who someone else is. But it's an inner strength to be able to recognize, see the darkness, see the light, and actually just try and see them as, you know, you've got black, white and grey, and it's all mixed together in different proportions, and that's just who you are. And accepting it, you know, is very releasing. It really helps you come to peace with who you are. It's that peace feeling again. And we have the venom, and the venom is all about those uncomfortable truths, actually, and all about growth. And most growth comes from things that are a bit uncomfortable. If we do things that make us feel a little bit scared or a little bit anxious, and we think, oh, I don't know if I want to do it, they're the things that push us to grow. If we stay in the same comfortable place, that's lovely, you'll stay comfortable, but you won't necessarily change and grow in areas where you're looking to change and grow, and you won't bring in new opportunities. You won't be able to bypass things. You won't be able to navigate to the next stage because you're just going to stay put, stay comfortable. And there is a time for that. There's definitely a time for holding onto the harbour wall and not going out with the tide. And then there are times where we think, I just need to let this tide take me with it, and I'll ride it, and that it's going to be okay. Might be a bit uncomfortable sometimes, might be a bit changing seasons, changing weather, a bit turbulent, but ultimately it's taking me somewhere new. So if there's areas where you want to change, areas and things you need to bring growth and bring progress, then it may mean you have to push yourself into those uncomfortable things. And that venom is that knowing that those things that come to challenge us and try us, sorry, my dog's on the walk, she's walking around, those things that we find difficult often are bringing us the things we want. They're the things we've asked for. That challenge comes, once you overcome it, you'll find you're getting nearer to your goal, progressing towards where you want to be. And then we have the gem. And the gem is like the diamond in the rough. Okay, so again, it's our emotions, isn't it? They're all there, sometimes rough, sometimes beautiful, and all part of the same thing. But I feel like whoever this person is that this message might resonate with, or people, that they're looking for this. You're searching for that diamond, you're searching for the gem, you're searching for something that you feel is missing in life, and you think, I just feel a bit stuck, just feel a bit, a bit mundane. I want change, I want something. Your body is yearning for this thing, or your spirit is yearning, and you don't know what it is, and you're looking for this missing ingredient. And I really feel from this reading that whoever this is, the missing ingredient is not only the inner work, the answers are there, but also it's this opening the door more to your spiritual side, your intuition, your gut instinct. What is it you want? Where do you want to be? What are the things you want in your life? What goals? And then put them out there. Imagine them. Bring them in. You create your life. It's what you want it to be. And so, yes, we have all these challenges. Yes, we have the venom. There are always ups and downs and negatives in our life. But if you know what you're looking for, if you start thinking, what is this missing puzzle piece, then you're more likely to find it. If you don't even think what that could be, and you don't put in the work to try and discover what is missing, what do I need? What things do I want to let go of? What's dragging me down? What's making me feel in this dark energy, this heavy energy? How do I lift myself into the light? It's just beginning to make small strategies, small steps forward in your own growth, learning about yourself. Spend time. I mean, we spend time with everybody else looking to meet their needs, but it's meeting your own needs and also your wants. Doesn't just have to be the things that you have to have. There's this basic level of your needs, and then on top of that, of all the things you might want, and then thinking, actually, I deserve those, I'm worthy of them, and I want them, and I'm going to bring them into my life. They'll enrich me. And if they enrich you, they'll enrich all the other people around you that benefit from you being a whole person, being happy, being fulfilled. And again, the medallion, it's something you're reaching for. You're looking to, it's almost like, oh, I need this thing to be successful. How do I get my medal? When do I know I've done a good job? It's sort of letting go of that expectation of this thing that you receive or you're given, and then you go, oh, I've done it, I've reached it. The goal is always going to keep moving forwards. Once you reach that goal, you're going to manifest the next goal. You're going to dream about the next thing. You're going to want more. You're always planting the seeds, and as long as you're always nurturing them and planting new ideas and new things that you'd like, that you need, that you want, how you want your life to look, then you're always reaching for the next thing. Because otherwise, if we just got our medallion, if we got our medal, we'd stop. And actually, it's not about stopping. It's about keep pushing yourself to that next thing and the next part. You know, our human side is here to grow as much as our spiritual side. And we have to push and nurture and nourish both sides equally. Our mind, body, spirit, it's a whole thing. And if you get your medal because you're eating well, but you're not living well, and you're working too hard and you never take rest, then you've got a medal, but you're still not progressing in all angles of your life. So it's that message of don't stop just because you think, have I been successful in this one thing? Keep aiming for success everywhere, and see life as a succession of successes. There is no real end goal. By the time you get there, there's another horizon and another horizon. And that's what keeps it interesting. It's not feeling like, oh, I should be fulfilled at this point. I can tick all these boxes of the things I have, but actually I'm still not fulfilled. There's something missing. And it's aiming for that thing. Keep looking for it. And it will change all throughout your life, depending on your age and where you are and the responsibilities you have. And yeah, it's constantly realigning and taking time to just keep getting to know yourself all the time, because we change and we alter. And you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to do an absolute 180 on things that you think, oh God, I used to think that and I don't agree with that anymore. But yes, coming back into alignment, realigning yourself. We do it all the time with our cars, our furniture, our family, the things we eat. You know, when we're told, well, this isn't good for us anymore and that's good for us. And we're, we're constantly readjusting, realigning. But we forget to do that with ourselves. So really it's tapping into that in yourself and getting to know yourself. And that can be just from starting to think about, do it in little chunks. What do I actually like to eat? What do I want for dinner? Do we just always cook the same thing because it's easy, or because my partner likes it, or my children like it? Or we go, what do I actually want? What do I like? Oh God, I don't even like that and I eat it. Start small, then start thinking, when do I feel happy? When am I my most fulfilled? When am I literally giggling like a child? I'm hysterical. What things make me feel great? What makes me feel really bad? When do I feel sad? When do I feel lonely? Really breaking it down, small chunks. You don't have to do it all at once, but just take a little bit of time for yourself, even if it's 2-3 minutes a day or a week. Just start getting to know yourself again. And then the all important communicating that to the people around you and yourself. I have to realign now. I don't like doing that. Why do I still go to this dance class? I hate it. Every time I go, I feel drained and I feel miserable and I push myself to go, but I think I should because it's exercise. Find a new one, find something else. So yeah, just realigning and not accepting things when you think it actually brings me a lot of sadness or a lot of distress, or I feel overwhelmed, or, if there's negative emotions that are coming up all the time around something, it's looking at ways to change it. We can't always change everything, but we might be able to change our perspective of it. We might be able to express it to someone who can make that slightly easier. But until we start looking at those things and understanding them and seeing where they come from, then we can't even make that first move to change or shift them. And sometimes it's accepting them and coming to terms with them and then doing the work in order to be able to accept where you are and think, this is where I am for now, and then put a strategy in place for coping with that. But definitely it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, but it really is because you're worth it. Once you are in that position, everything else will roll, everything else will flow, and you'll find that the rest of all those things become easier. We have the king. And again, the king is about being very sure of yourself, know yourself, know when it's time to have to say, the kingdom is secure, we can all relax, and this is where we are. And other times you might say, this is a time we all have to be hyper vigilant, we might have to be on alert, we have to go to battle. So again, it's knowing yourself really well. Know all the aspects of you, all the colours of the rainbow, all those different shades of you. Once you've learned them all, then you can keep yourself in balance, because you'll think, oh, this side feels off balance. What's that about? What can I do? What can I shift to make that bit come back in alignment? And those things are going to sometimes be out of balance. But as long as you've noticed it and you think, okay, well, if that's a temporary thing for now, that's just the way things are, that's okay, because I'm going to ride this out and I know in future that it will come back into balance. And then check in again at another time. Am I back in balance? Yes, that's fine. But yeah, definitely looking at this spectrum of yourself. We are all aspects. And if one bit of us is out of alignment, it can knock on to all the other bits. It's a ripple effect. One bit affects all the others. And this can also be about, real loyalty to something or someone, a loyalty to family, loyalty to friends, and remaining loyal to yourself. Don't always do things for the best of others. The king often has to jeopardize himself, sacrifice himself, particularly his happiness, for all of the people around him. So he's trying to do the best for everybody in the kingdom, and sometimes forgets himself. So sometimes you have to put yourself on the pedestal, put yourself on the throne, and give yourself the same opportunities, the same amount of time, the same space, and allowances that you give to others. And our last one here is the dead end. And the dead end, despite its name, is actually about new beginnings. So there's some things you have to stop. Some things have come to the end of the line. Some things you need to give up. Some things you need to let go of. The way ahead is so, there's so many obstacles, it's so blocked. You're literally being told, don't go any further with this. Stop pushing through something that doesn't serve you anymore. And with those dead ends come those new beginnings. And again, that was our moonstone, wasn't it, at the beginning? All our new beginnings that this brings. And so for things that have come to an end, as hard as it can be, we have to find a way to let them go, or no longer allow them to affect us, drag us down, keep us stuck. It's like release yourself, allow yourself new opportunities, and also new adventure. It might feel like you're stuck in a rut, that you're at the dead end, you've got to the brick wall and you can't go any further. Look at it from a different angle, look at it from a different perspective, because you're entitled to those new beginnings, you're entitled to adventure and curiosity, and they're all things that enrich us. Staying stuck, staying put, staying at the brick wall isn't actually going to do you any favours. You're not going to grow anymore, and you might be feeling constricted, like entangled in all these brambles wrapped around you and stuck, but there is always a way through. So keep looking for it, keep finding it. And I think from the reading that you're being advised to look from a spiritual angle, stay grounded and centered, calm, and then start exploring more your spiritual side, however that calls to you, whichever way. It's different for everybody, but I think you're definitely being called to bring those endings about, that you know, this isn't for me anymore, I don't want to do this anymore. Things are shifting and changing. And I do notice in the cards, actually, there's a lot of hands here, and they're all, you know, stop. That's like a stop. And again, red, which is our root chakra again. Stop. There's something we need to stop. There's something we've got to stop and look at, stop and think about, stop and change. And so there is that feeling through the card. And from our chakra card with the Archangel Michael, I'm really getting a sense of, because he has his hand over his heart, it's, you know, sometimes be ruled by the heart. You know, don't let emotions take over and you can't communicate and you're overwhelmed and you're drawn into this cycle of just an emotional being. It's grounding, but think, you know, use your heart first. Let your heart guide you, and then be grounded. Have time, give yourself time to think about the things you want and you don't want, and then communicate that to the world and to yourself mainly, is make the changes for yourself. So yeah, I see lots of birds. It might be something that you see, that you are picking up on, birds. Definitely the colour red. If you're drawn to red, funny enough, I wore red, you know. But yeah, the red, the root, it may be flowers, but there will be signs and synchronicities that you're seeing. And I know we did a post about it recently, but seeing things in the clouds, you know, that imagine seeing things, seeing signs, symbols, synchronicities, angel numbers. What can you see reoccurring? In this particular reading, there are quite a lot of 2s, there are a lot of 10s, and actually, because it's Roman numerals, there are a lot of X's. So you might be seeing X's everywhere, you know, X marks as well. But keep an eye out for them and trust that it's guidance, trust that it's the universe trying to give you a message. It can be that you're on the right path and they're just sort of saying, yeah, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. But whatever it is, just take notice, just start seeing it and feel, does that feel like it's for me? Because there is definitely a feeling that comes with synchronicities and symbols that you think it's definitely meant for me to find it. So keep an eye out for those things as well. So I hope whoever this reading was for, or the people that this was for, I hope that there's been a message or something relevant for you. I hope it resonates with you. If you've got any questions or you'd like clarity on anything, then obviously just let me know. But yeah, thank you for listening. And if you do want any other readings, obviously just get in touch with us through the website. Take care, everyone. Bye.